Hello, guys, and welcome back to the pod. I'm here with
Pete Duncan.
and myself, Noah Tobin. We might be D3 runners, but we're D3 D. I messed it up. Can you cut it out? We might be D3 runner. Okay, let me rephrase that. We might be D3 runners, but we're D1 yappers at heart.
Yes, we are.
So we got a really fun episode for you today. We got Mitchell Dervin and Amalia Dorian. I'm very bad at names, but we're very excited to have them on the podcast, and they've been a really big inspiration for us, and so much more. And they're a big part of running culture right now. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
It's just a super fun conversation getting to know them as pretty high level runners in their respects and people out there making content, doing what they love. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what we're all about is we want to do our best to make what we love into a career and a lifestyle and just really throw ourselves into our passions. And they're all about that. So
Tune in and keep listening to hear about Queen of TikTok herself and her boyfriend. Love you, Mitchell.
All right, everybody. So if you remember our first episode, Noah and I introduced each other to you listeners out there. So we're going to have Mitchell introduce Amalia, tell us about her, and then she's going to introduce him to us. So go ahead, kick us off.
All right, so this is Amalia, the former and now current, as we literally just found out before this phone call, TikTok queen. It's been reinstated.
Love to hear it.
She is not only a great content creator, but a great runner, partner, and overall person, very artistic. And yeah, we met through running as well at Adams State.
Yeah. All right. This is Mitchell. He ran at Adams. No, first he ran in Kansas at a junior college at Allen.
Yes.
And then he ran at Adams, and that's how we met. And now he's done with running, and he works at PUMA, which is a really cool job. And he does their running, marketing, social media stuff. Yeah, he's still training, trying to run as fast as he can, post-collegiately. And now we live together in Boston. So, yeah.
Nice.
Exciting stuff. You kind of touched on like how you guys met at Adams State. Do you guys have a specific story or like when you started dating?
I guess we'd been like friends for a while. Like we'd make dinner together like once a week.
We called them family dinners.
Yeah, like with my my roommates and stuff. And then yeah, like 6 months later we started dating.
She was more hesitant
Yeah.
than I was.
I didn't want a boyfriend.
I initiated I wanted to be dating, and she was like, well, I want to have my freedom and this and that and the other. I was like, totally fair.
Oh my gosh.
Wait around, or if you decide you want to do your own thing, that's cool too. So
yeah, and then finally it was like spring break.
Yeah.
So
Oh, love to hear it. Well, we have a fun kind of like rapid fire question segment lined up. You want to take off with that?
Sure. So we just got a couple questions, and off the top of your head, just go for it, each of you. So
are we answering this too? We haven't discussed this actually.
Oh.
I feel like we should. We actually should.
Do it.
Okay. So first question. Go-to coffee order.
Oh, a hot oat milk latte. Course.
I literally wrote that in the notes. I said guessing hot oat milk latte. I'm such a queen.
Every day. Oh.
I usually go cortado. You kind of converted me to a hot oat milk latte. I usually get one a day, but cortado for me.
Noah, can you explain to the people what a cortado is? Noah's a barista. He's very good at his job, king barista. So
This is true. There's a local coffee shop here in town that one of our teammates, his dad owns. So I've been working there for like 3 years. A cortado is a double shot of espresso with equal parts espresso, equal parts milk. Correct? Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Nice. I didn't know that.
It's like
I know I don't like it.
for our coffee shop, it's funny because a double shot of espresso is 2 ounces of espresso. So then you only have 2 ounces of milk as well. And our smallest cup is a 12 ounce. So we have to pour it, and it's like this much of the cup. And so then I always feel like I'm shorting people, but if they know what they're getting, like Mitchell would, he'd be like, "This is correct." So
Chef's
yeah,
kiss.
there you go. Oh, what's yours? I already
Oh
know
yeah, you know mine. At Kava House where he works, it's the Bee Spicy, which is it's basically a dirty chai, so chai with a double shot of espresso. I get it with oat milk, but it's also got honey and lavender in it. It's really good.
Oh, that sounds
Today I
fire.
shook it up a bit. We always do double coffee on long run day. The pre long run coffee and then the post run revival coffee.
It's a must.
Today I grabbed it at Starbucks because Kava's closed. But I got it with brown sugar instead. Still really
Oh.
good though.
Yeah.
You wanna share yours, King Barista?
I get to try like everything on the menu, so it's like hard to kind of pick like a sole favorite. But if I had to pick a favorite, I make this brown sugar pecan latte. So we have actual brown sugar at the shop, and then we have a buttered pecan syrup as well. And so
Wow.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that does sound good.
it's pretty good.
We love a nutty coffee.
Oh, we love a good nutty coffee.
Okay, next one. Spandex or split shorts? Or I guess Mitchell half tights, unless you want to wear like some women's Nike Pros, if that's up your alley.
I'm definitely a spandex person.
Yeah, half size for me. You know, I definitely think we had an old Adams State. They always handed out old uniforms at Adams State, and it's funny
Oh,
you
the
say
swimsuit.
that. It was like a swimsuit uniform, like a one
A
piece,
onesie.
almost like a speed suit, but for women. And or like I guess before a speed suit became a speed suit.
Oh, that's like we have that framed, and that's the one that we have like
yeah.
framed. Like I think we used to a long time ago, but we've never gotten to use it. Yeah, it's cool though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. I did. I wore that once with shorts to pair it because otherwise things would have gotten messy. But it was that will never happen again. So one and done type of thing.
Oh,
I feel like only real ones could pull that off. I'd 100% say split shorts. Yeah, I'm a big sucker for chicken legs, especially that zipper pocket in the back. Like, it's
Yeah.
key. And
like the cow and the chocolate milk ones.
Yeah.
that's awful.
which is funny because I don't do dairy, but like after workouts and races, or like after races where we use the spandex, I can't wait to put on my split shorts for the ride home on the bus. So
that's so. Oh, I have to do that, or I'll suffer some brutal consequences.
100%. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
I actually, after our meet yesterday, I wanted to change really badly in the bathroom. And the janitor's in there, he's a guy, and I started walking in, I was like, oh, I'll just go into like the stall, lock it up, like I'll change. I like really don't care. I just want to change shorts and go. And he was like, no, you can't be in here. And I was like, can I please just change my shorts really quick? I don't care. And he was like, no, it's against the rules. And I was like, I'm sorry, I peed myself. I really just want to change shorts. And he went, and I walked right in there, and I was like, oh, thank God. Like,
Oh my
Three
gosh,
times
that's
a
funny.
charge.
It's like a daily occurrence.
female runner problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. You're up.
I'm usually a split shorts guy, but the Aerosmith half tights with the netting, that's kind of been a game changer for me. I like those a lot. But
Those are really
more
like
reliable
yeah.
in short shorts. There you
Yeah.
go.
All right.
Nice.
Cold weather or hot weather?
Oh.
I know my answer. What's yours?
Oh God. I'm gonna complain either way, but
That's valid.
I don't know. Hot weather, I feel like I'm actually like gonna lose my life. But cold weather, I'm like so cold. I'm probably hot weather. I think I prefer hot weather.
I like
Yeah,
the
I'm
cold-
curious. Oh, I'm curious coming from like altitude in Colorado, how the hot and cold differs from like where it is in
Oh,
Boston.
Oh my God, it's so much colder here. Like last year in Colorado, there was like a week where the high would be like 6 degrees and like the low was like -18 or something. But that like is comparable to this week last week we had like highs of like 24
Yeah.
and like lows of like 12. and that was like comparable, if not worse, than like the -18 in Colorado.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
Interesting. I guess
yeah.
like humidity plays a factor. Sorry, Mitchell, I kind of cut you off there.
No, you're good. The humidity definitely plays a factor, but I like the cold. I say I like the cold, but I'm also willing to run on the treadmill if I just am not up for the outside.
Yeah.
But I like the cold because I'm generally just a very warm person. Like I need it as cold. So
Like, I agree with that. That's exactly how I am. Like, I'm always too hot, so I'll just go to mine. Definitely, because I feel like you can always put more layers on. You can't take everything off.
Yeah, that is always mine. I'm like, you can always like wear like 6 coats, but you can only get so naked when it's hot. Like,
Exactly.
you can't.
I love the heat because like I just walk outside and like my like short shorts and like my sports bra and like I just don't even think I don't think about what I have to wear when I run. I don't even think about the heat. I just walk outside like that and kind of go and like
Yeah.
Sweating.
yeah, I feel like I'm just a very efficient, effective sweater. I'm a very heavy sweater, so I feel like that kind of does it for me. But like the cold, I can be such a baby. Like I agree with you, Mitchell. I will retreat to the treadmill sometimes, like unless like the group is running. Like the other day, I almost did. I was like almost such a baby about it, but then the group was running, and I was like, okay, like I don't need a treadmill. But it was really funny before like nationals this year for cross country. I was like praying like that it would just be deathly hot, which is not realistic for November in Terre Haute, Indiana. And you were like, and then the clouds are gonna roll in, and it's gonna be cold and snowy. But
yeah,
yeah,
definitely pros and cons both.
yeah. Ooh, next one's good. Crew cut or no show sock?
Oh, definitely crew or like fun tall sock. Like I love little socks that are a little bit taller and they have like cows on them or like rainbows or unicorns. I don't know, like something like that.
Agreed on the crew sock. I not as much of a design. I like just a sock that's gonna last me a long time. So I like to buy like features or like your typical runner sock features, Belega, etc. I go back and forth though. I have the ankle socks, but then when I wear those, I like don't like how I look. I'm like, oh, this is not a good look. So then I switch back, but I, for the most part, crew cut.
I'm with you guys on the crew cut game for sure. I like you, Amalia. I love adding personality to my socks. Right now, we rock these at church this morning. They say just peachy. I'm doing mobility now too. I had this pair of socks that I raced in for a long time that were like cats on skateboards in outer space. Just what I wore all cross country season. But my brother got me a pair for Christmas that's green and they have like cacti on them and it says "suck it up," like but spelled like SUCC, like succulent.
Oh, that's too good.
So we switched to those yesterday for the first time as racing socks, but I'm crew cut all the way. Sorry, you're the odd one out.
I am the odd one out. I take the no show, but I kind of take the no show for the same reasons Mitchell takes the crew cut. I feel like the crew cut looks terrible. I'm too compact. My legs are too small. They're too short and stubby. It's like I can't.
Unless you're on the bike, because cycling culture is like the longer the socks, the better.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Do you guys have a favorite sock brand that you roll with? Like because you got Faith and you both have, you like to like have designs and all sorts of things on them. Faith, do you have a specific brand that you're like, this is where I go?
So the features in Belega have always been really reliable, but I feel like features, like if you put them in the dryer, they get kind of crusty and like shrink up over time, and my Belegas don't. But in terms of like personality for socks, I've had really good luck with Zenza. They make a lot of compression sleeves, so they use that same material.
I love their knee socks.
Yeah, and they have just like a lot of fun sock designs too. The ones that so that's what I used to race in. But I'll honestly run in like stupid cotton socks if they look fun. But the ones my brother got me are Mr. Sock Guy, but they're like an athletic fit too. So I don't know if you have any recommendations for sock lovers out there.
Yeah. I just love when you go in the like gag stores and they have the silly sock wall. Those are my socks.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to roll on the next one?
Sure. Yeah, I got you. All right. Since she's a hat girly and a shades girly, we have to ask this question: hat or shades? Apparently, you can only have one. You had to pick on a day.
I definitely sunglasses, but I've left my favorite sunglasses in Texas at home and they're lost. So not only did I leave them behind, I have no clue where they are. And I'm sad. They were like $8 from Walgreens and I don't know where they are. So now I have no sunglasses.
As if you can go to the CVS down the street.
I could, yeah. It's not the same. But definitely sunglasses.
I'm a hat person. I like wearing a hat. I don't know why. Like, it could be hot, it could be cold. I'm still gonna wear a hat. The thing I don't like is the hat hair and trying to like get it to look. It's almost the same thing with the socks. I'm like, but I guess once you take, it is, but it isn't. Because when you take the hat off, you're like, ooh, should I keep this on or like I'm decent enough to take it off? That's my only dilemma now going into work. I'm like, ooh, do I have hat hair?
Yeah, I just shuffle through hats. Like I like try to put on like hoodies and t-shirts like with my hat like on because I don't want to take my hat off because hat hair. You like were like early in the season when we were racing with the hats. You were like the best invention would be something that keeps you from getting hat hair but lets you still wear a hat. And I was like, I don't know how somebody would do that, but I agree.
Yeah.
I would save a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think I would say shades because my shades are prescription. So like when I race in the sunglasses, I'm like, I promise I'm not like trying to pull some arrogant action here. Like I just like want to see stuff like genuinely well. But oh yeah, the night meet when we raced pre-nats and it was so dark back there on that rolly section. And like I tried it like with the sunglasses and without, and I was like, this is equally bad. Like it's like pitch black either way. So I'm just terrible. Them on.
Yeah, that was awful. I remember just like there was like the little dips at the way back, and I was like, I'm just stepping into an abyss. I don't know how deep this whole like crevasse is, and I'm just taking a risk.
Yeah.
Like my knee was like going backwards.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh
yeah,
my God.
And it was so stressful because there's bodies everywhere, and like people definitely got tripped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I know what your answer is going to be for this.
Do you though? I have two separate answers. So I have an answer for when I had really long hair in the summer. It's definitely hat. Like every time, it was always hat. But when I have shorter hair, it's gotta be shades.
You got to get more arrow shades, though.
Yes, it's kind of like what Mitchell said. Like I like the look a lot better when I have the hair popping out of the hat. But if I don't have it, I just kind of look like an egg. Like I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, last one's hotly debated: cross country or track.
A track.
Oh, that was fast. Okay.
I don't think I'm.
You're 1500. You got a solid 15 working for you. So like.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like easier for me to push myself in track than it is in cross country. Cross country, maybe I'm a little too wimpy. I think not built for the hills and the grass.
I think, well, if I was still in college, I would say cross country because I love the team aspect. And I think a lot of people experience it when they run in college is like, and our coach said it all the time, was running for something bigger than yourself. And you maybe don't like, you understand what he's saying, but at the same time, not everyone like buys into it or really believes it. And now being out of college, like I understand what it was like. I was fully immersed in it at the time. So cross country during college, but now I lean probably more towards the track.
Because you have no other option.
Yeah, I mean, well, that and like it's either that or the roads, and it's a little bit of both. But yeah, so that's sort of a split answer. But yeah.
Yeah, I think if you would have asked me a year ago or even like last like August, I would have said track just because I have had so many lackluster cross country seasons or like injuries or just like since honestly like my freshman year of high school, just cross country's never gone how I wanted it to. Yeah, this was my first full collegiate cross season. I had one my freshman year when I was at Mississippi State before transferring. But I was injured and then I had rhabdomyolysis. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but I ended up in the hospital and it was not good. But I only raced like 3 meets, and was like coming off an injury. So having this season, at first I thought this season was doomed also because I had a really bad knee injury. So we came into things like really slow, but it ended up being great and I had a great time like traveling with like the team and friends. And I think
Yeah.
now I would just definitely say cross country or even the roads because I kind of mentioned this in our long run today. Like I love the idea of like journeying somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know your answer to this. I'm fairly confident.
Yeah. I mean, it's what started it all for me in seventh grade. So I gotta go cross country. Like,
Oh,
I don't know. I'm a grindy person. I love hills. I love how it takes like speed out of account. It's more about who's stronger,
yeah.
who can like. It's more gladiator. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Last man
we're
standing.
gonna line 400 guys up on one line, and we're all gonna say like we're gonna shoot the gun, and everybody's just gonna sprint, and like whoever can hold it wins. I think it's like a true like almost feels like you're playing like tag, like back in, like
Yeah.
those like
That's so fair.
hmm
Yeah.
That's a good
All right,
answer.
next segment.
Oh yeah, we're gonna roll into gear because we're big shoe heads here. We've talked a lot about our running shoe rotations for people on the pod, but if you guys want to tell us about your current shoe rotations or one specific shoe you think everyone should have, go
Hmm.
for it.
Right now, I usually keep it pretty simple, honestly. I have the On Cloud Monster.
Yes,
That's
Queen
my
Slay. Okay,
trainer.
love that shoe.
That's my trainer. And then for like workouts, I have the New Balance Super Comp Elite that desperately probably needs a replacement. But like the foam is like worn down. And then for racing, I actually need to figure that out because World Athletics just banned the LDX, the New Balance LDX, which is like
Uh,
best spike ever to exist in the world. And now I can't wear it.
Debatable.
So, yeah, I don't know what my spike is currently. Not the Adidas, whatever that was. That was a terrible spike.
Oh, the Addy Zero.
Addy Zero.
Whatever.
No,
Yeah.
never again. But that's mine. Just two.
nice.
So I used to be before I started working for Puma, I was huge on New Balance. And towards the end of my time at Adams State, I had the version 4 of the Super Completes, which I did not like. I was kind of surprised I didn't like them. But ran in pretty much all the same shoes she mentioned, the Monsters, any type of New Balance Super Comp Elite trainer. Now I am very spoiled when it comes to. I've always been pretty spoiled when it comes to shoes, but now I'm really spoiled because working with Puma, we have what's called sample size, and essentially what it is like they're bringing in samples of shoes that they've designed and whatnot, and having people wear test them, tell them the positives, negatives, and I've happened to fall into that size of shoe, so I sort of run in like the future, if you will. But I
That's
guess
sick.
yeah, it is. It's really cool. I'm very grateful for it. But I run in Velocity. People probably aren't as familiar with Puma shoes, but they do have good shoes, I promise. The Velocity 3 is good. I currently run in the Velocity 4. Deviate 3 it's like a hard daily trainer / tempo. It's a good shoe, but the plate was a little bit stiff for my liking. I like the Deviate 4 a lot better. And then let's see. Oh, Fast R3, which is I don't know what the R stands for, to be completely honest. I'm not sure. It'll come out this year. It's a fantastic shoe. I ran a road race in it recently. And spikes, I couldn't tell you what they're called. They're just a mid-distance spike. Puma's mid-distance spike, but they're really nice.
Yeah, you have a million shoes.
Yeah, I think I've gotten like I usually come home with 2 to 3 pairs of shoes a week. So
That's a
Oh
little
my
dramatic.
gosh.
maybe 2 a
Yeah,
week.
no,
And
maybe
in
like
the past month and a half, it's been like 2 a week.
that's
Any
absurd.
chance you wear a men's 9?
Yes.
You were
What?
I thought you were 10.
No,
Oh.
men's 9.
What size do you wear? You're a 9? Or what are you, Faith?
8. Smack dab average, middle of the road. How about you?
I'm a women's 8.5. Close.
Interesting.
Yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong. Adams State was a New Balance school, right?
Yeah. That's why
That's
I've got
super unique.
a New Balance Super Comp. Like, I still got a freaking load of them in my closet. So just cycling through the gear drops.
Yeah. How many
Yeah.
people would like go out and like buy their own shoes there versus what the school provided?
Yeah, we'd only get but we get like 2 to 3 trainers for the fall semester and then like maybe 1 to 2 in the spring semester. So you were honestly pretty set. But
Yeah.
people would go out and like, because not everyone liked we'd always get the New
Shoes.
Balance 1080.
Mm.
So like I'd have those and then maybe one other shoe. But yeah.
Nice. Well, that's kind of a perfect lead. Like, how'd you guys both land at Adams State?
Yeah, I guess, well, going into my junior year of high school, I wasn't like really that good. Like I don't think I'd broken 23 minutes in the 5K. So I like wanted to run in college, but I needed to be realistic. And I actually originally signed with D3 school Bates in Maine.
Oh.
And then I went to Adams State running camp the summer before my senior year, and I actually trained that summer. Came back, got a lot faster. Then I went on a tour at Adams, and I was like, oh man, I actually want to go here. So then I switched. But yeah, I just wanted to go somewhere where I knew I was going to get faster. Definitely made my decision based on more so running. Like Adams State was not the most academic school, but it got me where I needed to be. Like it's what you make of it. So yeah.
Yeah. So I started running my sophomore year of high school. I originally wanted to play baseball in college, and that did not pan out. I got cut from my high school team, and just kind of fell back to running. I had done track in middle school. So, and I, in all honesty, I loved running during a baseball game more than I liked baseball when I look back on it, and ended up running some solid times my senior year of high school. And at that point, that's like kind of late for high school kids to sign with like your big Division I schools, or the opportunities are definitely less, I would say. So I didn't have the attraction that everybody desires. So I went to junior college, and I'm glad I did, because my coach, he cared a lot about us, developing us, not only as runners, but people as well. And when it came time to transfer, that was during COVID. COVID had just started, and I was looking at a couple different schools outside of Adams State, and I just didn't get to visit them. I had been to parts of Colorado, so I was like, okay, I'm familiar with the state. It's not too far away from Kansas City, and pretty much took a shot in the dark and was like, I'll go to Adams State and make it work. A similar thing, I was probably geared a little bit more towards wanting to pursue like high levels of running, and I knew that the program offered that. I didn't even know how, because I it was only via phone calls that they kind of sold me on it. But I think that in itself spoke the volumes it needed to.
Yeah.
So it was mainly wanting to develop.
Yeah, you definitely go to out of state to run, like
Yeah. Mhm.
great. You don't go there for much else but running.
Yeah. That's the athlete student mindset.
Yeah.
And then I kind of read as a transfer, I was like interested in your transfer process. So I, stalked a little bit, did my research. You're looking at grad schools and you get accepted at like Suffolk, but also like Mitchell, you have this job at Puma. So how did those line up that you were able to transfer there and he was able to get a job there?
I don't think like necessarily we followed each other. Maybe like we slightly guided each other's paths, but like that wasn't the main influence. I was like, I'm gonna go whether you're coming with me or not. Like that was my mindset kind of. And yeah, it was like I sucked really bad after the BU Valentine meet last year. And then I was just really sad. And I had already like had the idea of transferring for grad school in the back of my head. Because originally I was gonna stay at Adams State and just like do Lord knows what. And I was like, no, like I need to actually go to grad school and like maybe not like waste my time. Not that I would have been wasting my time, but like take it a little more seriously. So I was like running around after the BU meet and I was like, I really like Boston. So I applied to like all the schools in Boston, like literally all the schools in this part of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And it came down to Tufts or Suffolk. But Tufts didn't accept grad transfer athletes. So I chose Suffolk. But yeah, and then
Yeah. That is
Big Tufts fan.
oh, you're a Tufts hater.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little thing back in 2020. So Wilmington is not historically a good running like school, but here recently, like we built a culture since like 2018, the culture started to get an uplift.
Yeah.
And in 2022, we qualified three guys out to nationals, but like, how do you qualify three individuals and not qualify a team? And like our region was really, really good that year.
Yeah.
And we didn't really suck at regionals. We just didn't beat like one team kind of came out of nowhere and didn't beat anybody the whole year. And basically it was between us or Tufts to get in until they picked Tufts. Even though we had more like ranked wins. So like
Dang.
I've been a hater of the jumbos. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a hater. I was like, fine, you don't get me, I'll go somewhere else. But
There
it's
you
like,
go.
Yeah. But you talked a little about how you liked Boston. How's the mountain town versus city life?
yeah, well, where we were in Colorado was definitely like not mountains. It was like in a valley surrounded by mountains that were like 40 minutes away. So we could see them in the distance, but it was like flat desert farmland. So and it was like a really small town. Like I don't know if we could have done a bigger change.
Yeah. I mean, true,
unless we went to New York City.
You got to think like most people are further from the mountains than we were.
Yeah.
So it's technically still a mountain town,
I guess. Okay. But but it was like really rural. Like what? There's like
you're like 3.5 hours from Denver. And,
yeah.
So we were really southern. It was like about as drastic of a change as you could get. Moving from very spacious, big roads, very few people.
Only one Walmart. Like that was it. That was our store. Like that was it.
Yeah. There's not really any shopping, not really any entertainment. And very little, I should say.
Yeah.
So to go from like very rural spread out area to compact and Boston's big, but as I think in my experience at least, I don't know how you feel, but after living here for almost 6 months, it's this city gets smaller because you obviously explore more and more people. So although it felt really big at first, having been to London, Paris, and New York, it pales in comparison. It's still big, but it's got like the big city feel without the big city rush in it all the time.
Yeah,
which is nice.
definitely. And it's good. Both places were great for running. So
yeah,
that's important.
Oh yeah, I mean as runners, that's generally you go to Adams State to run, right? Um, so what's how would you compare your Division 2 experience to the D3 experience?
Definitely like I think my D2 experience was as close to a D1 experience as you could probably get at a D2 school. Just because it was such like high level and it was like very intense. Like I never thought I was like a bad runner, but like I was a decent runner. But even just to make a travel team was like so hard for me sometimes. Even though I was like borderline national qualifier like 2 years in a row, like it was nearly impossible to make our cross country team. Like those girls are so incredible and like so fast, and it definitely made me faster, but it was like really hard and sometimes a little bit discouraging. But like it made me better. So at the end of the day, like I'm glad I had that experience. It was very intense. Like you were definitely athlete student, which I is what I signed up for. And then here I definitely still have like an intense mindset when it comes to running, but like my coach is a little bit more laid back. And he kind of will like listen to what I want or like taper like change my training if I need to. And that's very much so like putting school first, putting like internships first or outside activities that are equally important. Um, which I appreciate, especially because I'm kind of old and like I need to like not be running in college next year and have a job probably. So I appreciate that for this point in my life. But yeah, I definitely like I liked both a lot. Like I don't have any like I feel like so often people are like, oh, I transferred because I hated my school, and I just like I didn't have that experience. Like I loved Adams. I think it was good that I left when I did. So yeah.
All right.
Yes.
It's gonna be more towards Mitchell. I got some questions about Puma. How did that start? Like, how did you find that position? How did you get it? Do you enjoy it? Do you love it? Like, what are your favorite things about it? Just like talk.
Unpack.
Yeah,
yeah,
about it.
yeah. So I guess the reason I don't share too much about that on like social is because I don't want to mix. It's weird. Like running is my hobby and it's now part of my job, but I try to not. I like keep a separation between church and state a little bit, at least for my own sanity, I guess. And the reason I kind of came about it, like the core of it, is because she got me to start doing TikToks like I think almost 2 years ago now. And I fell into the Heartbreak Love Squad and did that for a semester in college, which is like their NIL program, and through the running company. And um, the girl who used to run that reached out to Amalia and was like, hey, Puma is looking to hire for this social media position. Are you interested? And she's like, no, but Mitchell is. Because I had been searching for a job and was connecting with people all over the place, but specifically in like Portland, Boston, the cities in the U.S. that have a lot of running companies. And my coworker Ben Weingart, I'm very blessed to be able to work with him. He's a freaking genius. He's really smart. He knows how the game is played. And I do really love my job. I was just telling Amalia this week, it's both inspiring and frustrating because I haven't really had sort of like a creative outlet because I've been so focused on running for the past 6 years. And I'm now leaning into like my interests with creating content and I guess art as a whole. And I'm surrounded by people who have done that for a lot longer than I have at PUMA, and just in general. So people who are doing like photos, videos, they're a lot better at it than I am, in a lot of ways. But that's, so from that aspect, it's both inspiring, and a little bit of frustrating, because I want to be as good as they are. But I understand that it takes time to get, just like with running, it takes time to get better at those things. So I do really enjoy it, but it's a balance. So
It all comes back to running. Yeah.
that
What
answers
did you
it.
study in college?
Political science.
Yeah. Yes. So you can be a yapper.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to keep myself from like saying too much, but yeah, I did. Undergrad was political science. Grad school was public administration. So
Nice.
So did you go to grad school at Adams State then?
I did. Yeah, I looked at transferring, but having paid for college, it was just so expensive everywhere else that I was like, I can't afford this. That was why I went there.
All right. Before we move to Amalia, one more question. As a runner, if you had to describe like the style of racing that you are, or the style of running in general, like training and style of just even dressing style, what's your like style, I guess, as a person and an individual?
Oh, I like that question so much.
I do like that a lot.
And
I'm gonna have to
answer. You both can
I'm gonna
answer.
steal that for something. I don't know what, but I like that. Dang.
Do you know what you would say?
No, you do you?
I
You go.
do. I kind of do, but I like don't know if I'll put it into words very well. I would say oh gosh.
I think I know.
Yeah, you go
Okay.
then. I don't know how to
I think
describe
I'm like riding the line between like comfy / knowing what works, like comfy dress wise, style wise, and then just like knowing what works, like classic, just basics, and then like being ever so slightly trendy, fashionable. I'm like right on the line of that. Like I want to dress nice to class, but I also don't want to be cold. And like I want to I like to just bang out like 80-mile weeks because I know it works. But I also like to maybe adopt double thresholds because they're trendy and I think maybe they'll help me. So borderline,
It's
right in the middle there.
it's like the originality part of that like art student in you, but also like, oh, like this is what the population is really into, and I must appeal to.
Yeah, and then like I don't want to be uncomfortable, like physically uncomfortable too often. Well, maybe that doesn't like make sense with running wise. Like I'll do a painful workout, but I don't want to be cold or like
100%.
tired or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm sort of similar. I would say I like to be I'm really into like outside of running, I'm really into fashion and clothes. So I like to pursue I don't love, although I have to follow the trends, I don't love following trends, or at least like modern trends. I'm really like a historical person, which is kind of what plays into my political science background. But so I like old stuff. I'm really into like, I don't know, wearing down things for a really long time. So being fashionable, both in my running and how I style myself, and like how I race without being like, I never want to be flashy. I don't want the limelight. That's not who I am, but I want to look good doing it. But I don't need anybody to, come up and be like, hey, we want to talk to you, or like, no, I don't want to be noticed, but I also want to look good because it makes me feel good. internally.
Yeah, no.
That's I feel like how you are. Except sometimes I feel like you're like, I want to be a little flashy with that.
Fair.
This cool.
Oh,
So we talked about Puma. You work for a Heartbreak Running Company, Amalia. Do you want to talk about that? Yap about that for a smidge, or what do you do for them? How'd you land
yeah.
that?
I mean, I started like 12 days ago, so
Oh
yeah,
wow.
it's really new. Um, I well, because I worked with them with their NIL deal a while ago, and then I moved here, so I was like, oh, this is nice. And then the fall, I kind of gave myself just to adapt to life here. So I wasn't really working. TikTok was my job, technically, but then I was like, okay, like I think I'm ready to take on like an internship or something that'll like make my resume look good. I don't know. And I reached out to them, and it was really coincidental or good luck.
Yeah.
This girl that got him the job freaking left Heartbreak, and she's the marketing girl. Right as I texted, and I was like, this girl is our like we owe her one. We owe her one. But yeah, so I kind of stepped in. I'm not like it's not an actual job. I'm just an intern kind of. So it's kind
Okay.
of like part-time. But I'm essentially in charge of like social media posts and creating content and kind of not being the face, but I do a lot of like the vlog stuff. How she did. So she was always on their channel, and now it's kind of like me, I guess, which is kind of sounds conceited, but yeah. And like testing products, and I'm in charge of like the love squad, so I'm like kind of picking that or helping out with that. Yeah, just like cool projects like that, which is really fun because it's like a little bit of my art degree, a little bit of my social media, and then I'm getting my master's in marketing, so it's a little bit of that, and it's everything together. So I love it so much. I actually love it so much.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm big on like you should always just try and turn your passion into like your job. Like just bet on
Ah,
it. Send it
exactly.
always. It
Yeah.
might work. If you were to give like 3 tips for college students looking to get into NIL for anything, what would they be?
Oh God. I haven't really done a lot of NIL deals. That was one. And then I've done like little brand deals, which count as NIL, but it's not like
Yeah.
the ones you see with people signing with New Balance. Um, but I like to also stay true to I don't really like this like overconsumption, like constantly trying to influence people to get things. And I've had a lot of offers like try out this shirt or try out this jacket or like like this special blah blah blah. And I'm like, look, if I'm not gonna actually use it or consume it, I don't want to advertise it to other people. But I go through an app called Postgame Official for like a few of my deals. They do a lot of like kind of not great ones that I don't love, but I don't sign up for those. I do like protein powder ones or like supplements, stuff that I actually use. And I guess my advice would be just like reach out to people. You usually get a no, but 1 in 10 tries you get a yes. And yeah, the worst anyone can say is no. And that's like my life motto. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that at the core of that, like, is also, I mean, we were talking about it last night. We were scrolling on TikTok and because we were saving videos to post on Instagram in case TikTok was banned forever, and crazy. But I think we were saying it's almost like you can look back and it's like a diary and like how you've changed every day as a person, even if it's just it's just minimal things, but seeing at the core of that is like creating content and not even creating content, just documenting who you are as a person. You don't even have to post it anywhere. But if you're looking to get into NIL, that is, I think, a huge part of it is like if you can market yourself and tell a story. It's really like people love that.
Yeah,
They
like
love it.
brands really appreciate that.
It's not easy to do. It's not always comfortable, but that's like what I think is at the core of it.
No, I agree, and that's probably what we're kind of trying to do with the podcast and the Instagram page. And she's always had the podcast. If you scroll back, you can see
So
the
back in the
photo,
archive.
which is actually that's kind of how we met.
Yeah, it's kind of how we met. I it was just before I transferred, and I had a whole summer to just like burn basically that I was by myself in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And so I started a podcast, and I kind of knew who you guys were because you guys they were
I knew my teammate Simon decently well.
yeah. You guys have a
Yeah.
really good community in the summer here at Wilmington where people get together and invite friends for like long runs and stuff like that. So I had been to a long run here when I was in high school.
40 people.
Wow.
Yeah. And we go to like the coffee shop, like, but it was
Yeah.
closed. It was always on Sunday, so it was just the runners there. That was kind of how we met. Was at a coffee house long run, but I don't remember it a whole lot because I was just a junior in high school and I was fighting for my
I
life.
remember me. Too much of the
Well, I also had a case of the poops on that run, so I had to stop like 4 times,
Oh.
and I was just like trying to make
I
it
was
through.
there for that.
But
It was-
yeah, but basically on my podcast, I wanted to see what the Division 3 experience was like, so I interviewed Simon and you, because I was like, I can't just have Simon. We
the
need
2022 season when we
yeah,
qualified
when you
for
guys went to
nationals.
nationals, you guys did really well. I was like, this would be a really fun episode, and it was great. So yeah, always meeting people on the pod. It's great.
Yeah,
But
that's
then we
so
took a break from it, and now we're back.
good. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, go for it.
All right, so this is like a question for both. So post-collegiate aspirations and our life goals. Like you could give like 2 of each. And they could be
Okay.
running related or not running related.
Yeah, for me, I guess I do want to I can't imagine my life without running, so I will keep running after college. Probably trying to run as fast as I can for as long as I can. Not distance-wise, but like years-wise. And then another goal after after college is probably I want to keep doing like what I love. Like whatever I'm doing job wise, I want to make sure that I love it. I don't want to be like stuck in some cubicle doing something I hate.
100%.
Like if I'm gonna be in a cubicle, I hope I'm loving what I'm doing. But yeah, whether that's like content creation or art or social media or all three, we'll see. But yeah, just do what I love.
Cool. I guess after college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I think I just kind of got hit with reality. I was like, I need to find a job. And like that was 6 months before, well, yeah, like 6, 7 months before I graduated. And I, like you guys said, I kind of just leaned into my passion and my interests, which is largely running. So I was looking to get into the running industry, whether that was through local like Heartbreak. I mean, I guess they're local to Boston, but all over the U.S. And then either there or the regional level or the global scale, and just happened to be the global scale. So that was what I wanted to do post collegiately. But then, what was the other part of the
What are
question?
your 2 goals, Mitchell?
Sorry, I got
Aspirations.
my two aspirations. I want to be really good at running on the roads. It's kind of just come about recently. Like I think because I raced a Thanksgiving race, like you run the turkey trot and like the 4th of July runs and whatnot. But to be in a room full of like elite level runners, like there was 12 55K runners, there was 14 flat 5K women. Like it was crazy who I was in the room with, and I was just another guy. So to be good at the roads would be pretty sweet. And then I want to get into cycling. I just haven't taken it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love the bike. I'm converting him slowly. Okay, sorry. Continue.
That's really about it. I watched I don't know if you guys know who Tom Elmer and George Mills are.
I actually don't.
Tom Elmer is a Swiss runner and George Mills is British, and they cycled around Mallorca, the island of Mallorca, and there for a while I was telling Amalia, I was like, I'm gonna go to Spain and cycle around Mallorca just for fun. And she was like,
Gosh,
that's
yes.
you do that.
I know. I was like, maybe like start with a little bit more local.
I'm literally always like, we need to go to Europe so we can bike. And yeah, or like I mapped out like a 100-mile route. So we'd do like a century ride that would stop at like 5 or 6 different coffee shops because I'm like, that's like my like two of my loves is like cycling / sports and coffee. Like it'd be so great. And you would come obviously. So that's 3 of my loves. But like one of my goals, similar to your Mallorca story, there's this ride called Ride the Divide. It's like the Continental Divide. Like you go like basically from Canada all the way
Yeah.
down like through the U.S. like in the Western states. Um, but I think the record is like 13 days. But you would do it on like a hardtail mountain bike. And I've always said like if I don't know what I want to do with my life after college, I'm just gonna go out there do that ride. If you don't have answers by the end of that, you ain't
Yeah.
getting them.
That's
So
real. That's so real. Yeah.
yeah.
There was a guy, Phil. His name is Phil on Foot on Instagram.
Oh my God. And we met him.
He's like probably 50 to 60 or so.
Yeah.
And it's funny you ask, like, and then you said you don't like if you're not sure what you want to do with your life. I don't know if Phil even knows what he wants to do with his life. And he's 50 or 60. He was running from like LA to Maine or vice
Oh
versa.
my gosh.
He was walking,
Or walking.
like all self-sufficient with his little, he had a little, like a little backpack
buggy,
with like
yeah.
a little bike kind of thing on the back, like a cart. And he walked all the way across, and we met him in the grocery store in Alamosa. And we were like, that guy looks like he's walking across the country. And we asked him, and he's like, yeah, I am. And I was like, what the heck? And he was like, yeah, this is my like 3rd time walking across the country. I was like, oh, okay, like pop off, I guess. But
I got some good lore.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Others are doing the soul searching as well.
Yeah, facts.
We got some fun closers to ask you guys. We always have like just different kind of themes that we recognize throughout the week, like in our life, like what's going through our heads a lot, and like we repeat it. Sometimes it's just funny stuff, like, but sometimes it's nice, like a mantra. Shoot, I forget mine. We literally talked about it this morning, like multiple times, and then I forgot it right before the episode. I should have written it down. Anyway, what's your week's mantra? Maybe it'll come back to me.
Friday's workout, what got me through, I was all alone, and it was the first lactic workout that I've done since like November. So it was brutal. And the whole time I was like literally chanting so loud in my head to the point where I like couldn't hear any other thoughts. And I was like, nothing good in life is easy. Nothing good in life is easy. And I was like, how cheesy, but that
So
was
real for that.
Yeah, that was that.
I would say like a believe in me, belief in myself. I've always sort of struggled with that. And sometimes it shows more than others, but I'm reinforced by her and my family and other people. So that's one I have to keep coming back around to is like believe in me.
I remember mine.
You did.
What is it?
I've been kind of sick this week.
Oh my God, same.
Oh
Same.
my gosh, twinsies. And like I had 2 like hot garbage fire runs this week, and of course we had like our indoor season opener yesterday, and like we were doing it kind of as a workout, like just a lot of races. And like
Yeah.
after both these runs, I just told myself it'll be there when I need it, and it was. Yesterday was a good day. We did what we needed to do, survive, got a good long run today. So just kept telling myself all week when I felt gross, it will be there when I need it. Yep,
That's so real.
you're up.
It's probably we said this a lot during cross country season. Like we just say it for everything in life. We always say keep pressing.
Even if we're eating and we can't finish the
That's
Like,
good. That's good.
I heard this thing once like on TikTok, and it was like this guy explaining like how you need to be like even like when it comes to like racing, like being on top of the pace, like being out like it's like swimming, like being right on top of the water and like being able to breathe but not being under, not being too up top. And so it's just staying right on top of it. And like I would yell at that, like I yelled that at you at nationals. I yelled that to you, like we just do it all everything. And so
Aw.
you'd say that to me before days at work and stuff, and yeah, it helps. But
Aw.
Yes, you're in the race. Just keep pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
I like that.
Oh, you should talk about this next
oh
one.
my god, we are big fans, I guess, of getting songs stuck in our heads throughout everyday life.
Very musically motivated.
Yeah, we always
Hmm.
think about like cadence and stuff, and we always try to match
Mhm.
it up. But this goes into a question: do you have any songs like weekly or right now that's like stuck in your head?
Or that
Wow.
you run to.
Look at that. She's got all the songs.
Right now, all I've been listening to is I'm a Weirdo. The Les Mis musical soundtrack. So I don't know how motivating that is. I am an English and kind of art nerd, so yeah.
I get okay, so I'm on a weird 70s kick, like 70s club music.
Yes, this is correct.
So I've been listening to She's a Bad Mamma Jamma like just on
Oh my
repeat.
god, yeah, you have.
But the reason I snuck is because she makes up like we both make up our own songs sort of randomly, just like sayings become a thing. And I don't know where she came up with it, but her brother was annoyed by it too. I don't really get annoyed by it because I've heard it a bajillion times, but she's always singing in the city.
I don't even know why I made it up.
She's saying in the city and then like
That's
no
it.
other words.
Yep.
Just the 3 words.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely steal stuff from songs sometimes that we say.
Yeah.
Like there's this one song by the Bare Naked Ladies called Broke Into the Old Apartment. And so like half the time I walk into the apartment, I'm just like, broke into the old apartment.
Yeah, see, you get it. You get it.
So
Oh,
I know she's home.
yeah. The ones you get it, get it.
Nah.
But okay, our song has been the same song.
Messy.
We've been obsessed with this song. You should sing it.
No, I'm not singing it.
Messy. Did you guys know the song Messy?
Well, yeah. Cause I'm so messy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
know it.
We had to do the snow thwarted us running outside a few days ago for a tempo run. So we did it on the treadmills and we made a fire playlist. And like that song came on and it's such a good tempo song. Like the cadence is perfect. So
That's so good.
I'm gonna have to add it to
But-
the
But
list.
the
You
other
know this-
one, with a national, she had hot to go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so
there's
good.
there's something for me. Well, then they played it on the start line and I was like, oh,
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
And it wasn't.
but it's something about like spelling in songs for me that when I'm like running and my feet are like hitting the ground and I can spell a word, it's like I'm not thinking about like the race or the pain. I'm just thinking like HOTTOGO. Like, and it's just
That's
it's
so
soothing.
real. And it's such a good song. So
Yeah. So oh yeah, we always I told you about this ahead of time, so hopefully we got some good stories to yap about here. But we always end with a Strava shout out. So somebody that we ran with this week who is preferably on Strava, if not, just shout out a homie. And we'll tag him on Instagram, throw him out on the story. For me, it's Cameron Chatfield. He ran the long run with us today. It was, I think, his second longest run ever. It was his first run on this route that we do called Cuba. And the weather here was brutal today. So I'm really happy that he made it out and plugged through his 12-miler and got through, even though it was not easy for him and he was not feeling great. But we had a great run. And I also ran with him and a couple of the other guys from the team on, I think it was Wednesday. And like, yeah, just he's having a really great block of training. He did a higher mileage week for him this week. So yeah, really happy for him. I think his season will be good.
nice.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I just came up with mine now, and he probably is not listening to this. There's a kid. He's a distance boy, Otterbein University.
Oh, I know.
And he just recently broke 15 minutes in the 5K this weekend. His name's Payne Ratcliffe, and he runs, like I said, he runs for Otterbein, a rival school in the OAC. So there you go.
Aw, nice.
Sick.
Yeah, this week's been kind of weird, so I ran with someone today, but it's not really on Strava, I don't think. But I'll shout out my good friend Morgan Hikes. She's back in Colorado, but we might as well be running with each other every day because we talk all day. She's been kind of injured with her IT band the past month, but she's been grinding on the bike and cross training and getting in workouts when she can. So proud of her. I think she's gonna do really good. This is her last indoor season, so I'm cheering for her from afar. But
Awesome.
yeah.
We are too. Go Morgan.
Oh my God, not Morgan Hikes. It's Morgan O'Keefe. She got married.
Oh.
All right.
I forget
Okay.
about that.
Oopsies. Morgan
Slice that
O'Keefe.
out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
So I'm similar. I haven't really been running with anyone. And don't judge me when you look at my Strava, but I'll say Alex Korzinski. He's a freshly minted, newly signed pro with Saucony. And I know Alex decently. I've only met him within the past couple of months, but he's super nice. Went to Northeastern and is good friends with all the people that I'm friends with. But he is really dedicated. He lives in Western Massachusetts and comes into Boston every week to work out. So for him to, have the dedication that he has as someone that trains alone is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess we need to ask your social media experts while we have them captive. If we want to get a ton of clicks and listens on this episode and a ton of followers on Instagram, what do we need to title this?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I don't know.
I would say use her. She's gonna,
Maybe like
it's gotta. I would say put
TikTok
something.
legend. Oh my God. That sounds so
TikTok queen.
TikTok queen and her boyfriend.
It's funny you said like I'm Faith's boyfriend because that's how I feel like I introduced myself to people. I'm like, hi, I'm Mitch. I'm Amalia's boyfriend.
Sometimes it's just simple, and it's like I don't know how. Like, I feel like I'd have to go into all my lore to explain who I am to be relevant. So it's the quick shortcut. It's the panic answer.
The panic
She's
answer.
like a panicker when it comes to ordering coffee too. So she's
Yeah.
either panic ordering or panic answering.
I'll be like, oh, matcha. I've never had matcha, but okay. Like,
Oh, that's so real. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe TikTok queen and her boyfriend. I don't know. Running TikToker. And something like that. Could be good. But I'll share
queen of
it.
running TikTok.
We'll think. I'll send some options.
Famous running TikToker? Question mark, exclamation point. Down the, like something really clickbait.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally perfect.
Awesome. Anything else you guys want to share with the people of the pod?
Yeah, I don't know. Keep grinding. Yeah. Yeah. And good luck.
Yeah.
For you guys and anyone who's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we line. It'd be cool if we saw you at some meets or something this indoor outdoor season.
I don't know if you go to like BU, but I'll be at BU and slightly better at track. So hopefully I can see you in New York.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Even outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outdoors is in Ohio. So
It's like home turf for us.
Yeah. So hopefully those
that's
two.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. That's a wrap on episode 6 of D3 Yappers.
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing on a string from Burger King.
Catch you on the flip.